My name is Ross Mandell, and welcome. What a treat I have for you guys today. I'm coming to you live from Delray Beach, Florida, Scott Woolley Studios. This is a beast of a man in every single way that you can think. He's tall, he's broad, he's slim, he's got, I don't know how he curates that mustache. We're going to find out a little bit more about him today. He is considered a brilliant business guy, strategy guy. He buys and sells, builds companies, and advises the wealthiest of the wealth creators. I want you to say hello to the real Chad Peterson.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
My brother, it is so great to sit here today, chop it up, get to know you in person yet.
Absolutely, man. And I want to tell your audience, such a warm invite, such a warm environment, just a great soul you are. I can pick up on that immediately. So
thank you so much. And I feel likewise. I do. From the moment you walked in, I could feel your energy. I'm a big energy guy.
Yeah.
And you are the quiet, serene sort of energy, but it's a serious energy.
Yeah, because if you can feel energy, you're intuitive. You're tuned in. You have senses that other people aren't tapped into, and a lot of people don't have that.
It's interesting to me because I've always been sensitive to that.
Yeah.
But as we get older and we get a little wiser, and there's more information, science that comes into our world that we get to understand, to parse. Yeah, it's all about energy, right? Isn't it?
It is, and as you get older, or perhaps it's not even about age, whenever you get your spiritual eyes, you can see something that other people can't see. You have intuition that other people don't have. And I find that the pain that people go through is what creates that. So I usually find the more pain that somebody's been through, the better eyes they have, the better senses they have about other people. And they're tuned into it because they rely on it.
I love it. If pain was an Olympic sport, I'd probably be a favorite for the gold medal.
Absolutely.
I know.
Me too, man. Me too.
We know pain, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Now,
Yeah.
now I want to get, because I know you said you were in ministry, so that's really interesting to me. I never pictured a minister to walk in here with those beautiful Amazonian fish boots and, the Pitagua fish, what was it? The
Paraguay fish.
Paraguay fish.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get those boots on camera, but man, those are really good looking.
Thank you, brother.
Matching belt. The whole thing. I don't know if the audience can tell. We're going to make him take that jacket off later, but he wants to give you that professional vibe. He wants you guys to know there's a serious business fellow, a serious advisor to the most successful alpha males out there. I think that's fair to say. What I like to do, I really want to get to know you, use this opportunity. So let's dial the clock back, where you were born, what early life was, where, when, how old you are, the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm 46 years old, born in December, Sagittarian.
December what?
December 2nd.
Well, my ex-wife, December 5th.
Oh, yeah.
My mother, November 26th. All the big women in my life were Sagittarians. Go ahead. Interesting.
So I was raised in Overland Park, Kansas. I was raised by a single mother.
From Kansas,
Overland Park, Kansas. Wow. But I grew up in the poor part of Overland Park, and literally, I'm only 46 years old, but I went to school on a dirt road, and it was a one-lane dirt road.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because I was raised in an area that was being developed into a planned community. But I was raised by a single mother, very unstable mother. She's still alive today. We don't talk that much, but she's a good woman, but she had her demons, and she had her path that was laid in front of her for me and my half-brother, and it was a rough go. And nobody would want that kind of life. Nobody would want that kind of childhood that I had. But I will say, and I hate to glorify it, and I hate to give her too much credit, but it made me into who I am today. It made me tough. It made me resilient. It made me realize that if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I don't count on anybody else. I don't trust people. If you make it into my trust, I trust you forever, though.
I'm like that.
That's how that goes. So I had to get real sharp, real keen, real young. I had to get hard fists and hard work ethic real young. And So I started working when I was real little because I just saw that money was a problem.
You had no money, right?
Yeah, well, my mom was single mom, and she was always nervous and worried about money. And I looked at that and I said, not me. That won't be me. And I think that's where it started.
Wow.
And so what I did when other kids were, getting out of school and going and fucking around and doing whatever and not doing anything productive, I was knocking on doors. And so I lived in this community where there was over 1,000 doors.
Wow.
And I would knock on doors just to see if I could do anything, whether I could walk their dog or, I'd pick up their yard, pick weeds out of flower beds, whatever I could do when I was young. If I made $5, man, I thought that I made $1 million, and that's where it started for me.
I love that.
Yeah, that's where it started. And then what I'd do is I'd take my little bit of money, and I would go to garage sales, and I learned real quick that whatever they had garage sales in the neighborhood, I would go somewhere and buy something for $3. And of course, they liked me because I was a little kid, buying something from them.
Were you ever a little kid? I mean, you what, 6'3"?
Yeah, about
235 right now.
Yeah, 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. 235.
College wrestler, fighter, tough guy. But you were a little kid at one point.
Tough guy, but a good heart, man.
I understand.
Yeah.
Were you always like a big guy growing up, or did you have like a spurt?
No, man. I was always stronger than everybody.
Okay.
Always.
I love that.
Very few people have ever been stronger than me. I was born with strength, but I didn't get my real big weight until I quit wrestling because I was always keeping my weight down.
Making weight is tough, boy. That was tough, right?
Yeah. So in college, the last year I was wrestling, I was 178, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
ripped, lean.
Oh, veins in my stomach.
An animal.
Yeah. And then I loved eating pizza and beer, man, because they had me cutting weight so hard for so long. Felt like heaven.
I love baked ziti.
Say that again.
Baked ziti. I used to go to Joe's Baked Ziti. It's an Italian dish. Just pasta and sauce and cheese. I used to go, extra cheese, please. Because I would play football, and I would play football like in the 170s, and then I would wrestle at 140.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well,
I've seen that game done.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's an up and down all year long.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So I tell you this. It's an interesting story. So I was doing this, and I was knocking on doors, and I was going to garage sales, and I buy something for $3, and then I just go down 3 houses and tell them, hey, I had this thing for $3. Do you want to put this in your garage sale? And they would give me $6 for it.
I love it.
So that's how I started. And then I learned how to do that. And then my mom walks into my room one day. She sees in my closet I got a board game, and it's full of money. I'm only 7 years old. And she said, CT, we have to get you a bank account. I go by CT. My closest friends in my family call me CT, Chad Thomas.
That's your middle name, Tom?
Yeah,
okay.
CT. And she said, CT, we've got to get you a bank account. And I said, what's a bank account? I'm 7 years old.
Of course.
So, yeah, I got my first bank account at 7 years old because I had made that kind of money. And then when I was old enough to push a lawnmower, I did. And my dad wasn't around much. My mom was married 7 times before I was 15 years old.
Say that again.
My mom was married 7 times before I was 15 years old, man.
What a woman. I mean, I got to tell you, something about her was right. I mean, she wasn't a great mom, but I mean, she had an appeal apparently.
She had her moments of being a good mom, but overall, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody.
I mean, imagine going through 7 men like that. I mean, I know women, they go through a whole lifetime, they can't get one man.
Well, she went through more than that. She went through boyfriends in between.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, not everyone married. So
Man, I've seen the craziest shit. I've seen everything you can see from sexual abuse to physical abuse.
You lived through all that stuff.
Yeah, physical violence.
You were a kid, and that was all going on.
Yeah, I was beat pretty hard as a kid. Saw my brother get thrown through walls. If you didn't get good enough grades, get your ass whooped.
That's okay.
I don't know, like that though. Not like that. No, I think a little swat on the ass back then wasn't bad, but this was different. My dad wasn't around, but a wonderful man. He was an alcoholic, but a wonderful man. I know that sounds weird, but he was just a terrific man.
Listen, I'm an alcoholic, and I'm a wonderful man. I just stopped drinking.
Yeah, he had a good heart. My dad had a real good heart.
Most alcoholics too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Most people that I've met in the program, once they get clean, they're good people.
Yeah, well, he was. Yeah,
it's a hard drug.
Yeah, so he drank. He had 15 DUIs when he died.
Wow, today that's jail. He would have been in prison, boy.
Man, back then, his dad was a cop. My grandfather was a cop, and he got off of several on the few. Like 3 or 4 or 5. The first ones he kind of got off. Then they started coming out stronger on it. Mothers Against Drunk Driving happened and
that
all
all
that.
started. MAD was the big thing.
Yeah.
I had 3 DUIs once in 8 days.
0 for me, man.
When I was a kid.
0, and I should have had many.
Yeah,
but
I
0
didn't get in
for me.
trouble, believe it or not.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never gotten in trouble.
That was a
for it.
mistake. I got away with that, and believe it or not, I wish I didn't.
You got away with 3 DUIs in 8 days?
Yeah, there wasn't even like a big crime in those days. Everybody.
Oh, like back when? What decade?
This was 1974.
Okay, yeah, back then it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it's like they didn't even have computers
It started
in motor
around,
vehicles. They thought they made a mistake. They thought the cops made a mistake.
Started around 85, 87, I believe.
I know. I know.
Yeah. So my dad died when I was about 26 years old. He chose it. I was okay with it. I let him go. Said, "Hey, man, you're done. You're tired. Life beat him up pretty good. He couldn't read or write. And so you mentioned this tattoo before we started rolling.
Yes.
And my dad had this exact tattoo on him. And the reason that he had it is because he couldn't read or write, and he didn't have much going for him. He was a drywall finisher. And but whenever he died, man, it was standing room only. You couldn't find a seat at his funeral.
Really?
Yeah, from bums at the bar to congressmen. At his funeral, and just everybody loved him. He was gregarious, and he helped out the community. He volunteered his time for the elderly and for the disabled.
Had a good heart, you said.
Yeah, very good heart. And so he had this butterfly to indicate, hey, man, I wasn't born with much, but I became something.
He had demons. I get it. Yeah. I so get it. Yeah. I hate to say, I wish I didn't. Were you in Kansas this whole time, up until you're 26 now?
Yeah, so I spilled my sperm.
You went to school. And
I spilled my sperm in the wrong area. I had a kid with the wrong woman. And so I was locked there until my son was 18 years old, Kansas City, and then I moved to Arizona.
Kansas City, Kansas.
Overland Park, Kansas.
I have a woman right now that I mentor pro bono because I couldn't take money from her. She has 5 kids under the age of 10. She just drove from Kansas to Boca to meet me.
Wow.
If you could believe this.
Why don't you just fly,
And
brother?
she's just driven back to Kansas.
Why don't you just fly? It's cheaper.
5 kids, I don't know.
Oh, she brought all 5 kids with her.
All 5 kids.
Okay.
And her. Stayed
Wow.
in one little motel room.
Why does she drive all the way to come see you? She wants to work with you or what?
Yeah, everything. I met her on a live, and she goes by Boss Mama. Jessie White, a little shout out to Boss Mama 5 from Kansas. I think she's in Salina right now.
Salina, Kansas.
She just drove 1,000 miles.
God,
And
wow.
she's a true
Hey, man,
beast.
that's commitment, man.
She's a true beast.
Yeah, that shows you she's serious,
And
doesn't
she
it?
had a $4 million a year business that she built and then lost. And she wants to get back. And listen, I have a good heart, and so I couldn't take anything from her. But if I can help, I don't have much time, but when I do, I try to help her out a little bit. So I'm like, Kansas is the middle, excuse my French, it's the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Nothing against Kansas. I'm sure it's a fine place.
Hell no, it's not,
That's
man.
where the Wizard of Oz was done, right? Dorothy?
Yeah, who gives a fuck? I call it Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City,
So you mean you
Missouri.
eventually left Kansas?
Yeah, nobody needs to live in Kansas, man.
So you didn't get married, but you had a kid.
I got married for 1 year,
Okay, listen, that's okay.
and I couldn't stand her.
I get it.
And I still can't. But she was one of these people where, I'd get off work, I'd go have a drink, go have a cigar, and, that was just blasphemy to her. I'm like, what the hell? I'm 24 years old. I've got employees. I'm a millionaire by the time I'm 25
Well,
years old.
I want to get to that because you're obviously a business guru.
Yeah, I
you
am.
see things that a lot of guys don't, and they pay you handsomely for it. And if you haven't, you should, because this is a beast of a man, on every level. And so you're tell us, you went to college?
I went to school. I wrestled in college, and I was bored with college.
All in Kansas?
No, I went, Missouri, right next door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another
Went to
place, Missouri.
went to Central Missouri State
There's
University.
a Kansas City, Missouri, too, and the Kansas City, Kansas. I always got confused with all that.
Well, guess what? I've been living there most of my life, and I'm still confused. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Because you've got North Kansas City, you've got Kansas City, you got Kansas City, Kansas, you've got Kansas City, Missouri, you got Kansas, and then you've got different subsectors of all that. It's confusing.
It's crazy,
as hell.
right?
Yeah, it's a very confusing
I've had
town.
conversations. It was like, who's on first?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's like, what? It's like a comedy skit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're a young man. What was your first business?
My first real business was a lawn care company. It's the only thing I knew how to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a real business, I hate to say.
Yeah, I did. I was making just as much money as my teachers were when I was in my teenage years.
Wow.
And I built that, and then
So you were truly a kid. when you were doing this.
I was a kid, man. But I had a truck, a trailer, equipment. I had people working for me.
I love it.
Yeah, and so I was about 19 years old, and I wanted to fly planes. That's what I really wanted to do, is be a pilot.
Really?
And a guy named Jerry came to me and said, "Chad, what do you want to do?" I was around 18. I said, "Well, I want to fly planes." He said, "How are you going to do that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go to college," because the Central Missouri State University had a aviation program.
Wow. Who would know these things?
So I would go to college, and I became a pilot in college, and I was studying aviation at the school. It was aeronautical science and engineering with an emphasis on aviation, being a pilot. And so I did that, and I was just bored, man. I was real bored.
You actually flew planes?
Yeah. So I'll tell you the story.
And you never were in the military?
No, I'll tell you the story.
Wow.
It's quite an interesting story, really. So I was so bored with college. It's too slow for me, right? So I was reading this aviation magazine one day, and on the back of the back page, it had all these advertisements for these different schools. And it was like, fast track your program to become a pilot, fast track your school. And I got to thinking about it. And so I came down here to Florida, where we're at now. Came down to Florida, and I went to school at Airline Training Academy. Actually, I went to school at ComAir, and I went to school at Airline Training Academy.
Right here in Florida?
Yeah, and I went to school with the terrorists.
I was going to say, that's where these 19 terrorists went from 9/11.
Yeah, I was in school with the terrorists, and of course, before that, we didn't know they were terrorists, right?
Correct, they're just guys.
Yeah. So I'm at Orlando Executive Airport, okay?
I know it.
At ATA. So I became a commercial pilot, and waiting on my number, because I'm going to fly for American Eagle Airlines. I'm waiting on my number. And I'm supposed to get hired somewhere around the 18th of January. Here we are, September 11th. Well, I'm just flying. I'm teaching ground school. I'm doing that kind of thing just to stay afloat. And I'm piloting a plane on 9/11, and I'm coming into the Gulf, coming in about to hit land over the water, and I'm headed towards Orlando International.
Oh, my God.
And that's where George W. Bush was with Air Force One. And so they diverted me, and, Florida's an inch wide and a foot long, right?
Right.
So you can easily fly in to a military operations zone, and that's a bad no-no. So I thought I fucked up. Okay, I thought, oh no. So
You had no idea what was going on?
No idea. I thought I made a mistake. So I'm grabbing my maps and I'm doing all this. And I'm looking for, military operations.
You were in the air at this time?
Yeah.
And you're looking at maps and all that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see where I'm at, and I was like, man, I know I didn't do anything wrong. And then some more calls got shot out by air traffic control, and they're diverting other pilots. And I thought, what the hell's going on? Then for the first time in history, they turned on all comms to all pilots, and they said all pilots in the Orlando area, in this airspace, divert to Orlando Executive immediately. Do not fly into our international airspace.
They thought we were at war.
So, yes, because, the next target they thought was going to be Air Force One.
Correct.
So they diverted me to Orlando Executive, and we landed in a very dangerous manner because you're supposed to land very methodically, and we didn't land methodically.
They're rushing you like.
Oh, yeah. And so what they did, because there were so many planes coming into the runway, they said, all pilots turn on your lights. And so we turned on every light that the airplane had, and it looked like fireflies in the sky coming into Orlando Executive.
What a great story.
Yeah, and so I landed. I was sweating my ass off. I was nervous. Everybody was. It's dangerous to land a plane right behind a plane because the plane can tip you.
I get it.
It's a tornado behind a plane.
That's
People
the most
don't know
risky part of flying, they say.
Well,
the landing, they say.
Yeah, I think it's switched to takeoff now because all the stupid things happen on runways. But yeah, I think you're right. Landing, but landing behind an airplane, you're landing in a tornado. So you have to let that plane leave, let the
Correct.
tornado
I get
dissipate, and then you land. Well, that's not what they did in this. They landed us right behind each other. So I was nervous. I walked upstairs. The last plane hit the Pentagon. My career was over. So I lost my number.
Why? Because it was
Airlines furloughed.
everything changed.
All the security came to the.
They shut down the whole country.
Yeah, and
For
nobody
2 weeks.
wanted to fly. Airlines suffered. I was a young
like
pilot.
yesterday.
Yeah, I was a young pilot.
That's why I bought in Florida. My wife said, "Forget it. I don't feel safe in New York."
Yeah, so about right after I lost my job with the airlines, 2 weeks later, I come back to my school. They took all the money from the students. I was fine because I already graduated.
Right.
But they took all the money from the students. Students locked up the doors, flew all the planes out of there in one night. Think about that. Think about flying 60 planes out of somewhere in one night and landing them somewhere where nobody knows about them.
What the?
That school, yeah, they got pursued. They probably went to jail.
Well, something. You know?
No, I'm sure they did.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying they were probably interrogated. I mean.
Oh yeah.
That's Guantanamo stuff.
Yeah, it was a wild time. So I did that. I became a commercial piled.
Did you?
Yeah.
Boy, so much for my research.
Yeah, I became a commercial pilot only to be shanked, flanked by getting somebody pregnant that I shouldn't have gotten pregnant. So I lost my job, and then I got somebody pregnant on accident.
Can I ask you who? Where?
Yeah, well, she's in Kansas City. She's miserable.
This is not the first.
That's it. Yeah.
This is the same woman?
Yeah. First woman that I was
you had an 18-year-old son with that you left?
Yeah, he's 22 now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 22.
So that's your only son?
That's my only son.
I was going to ask you that. That's interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
He's my only son.
Good boy?
Yeah, he is. He really has got a good heart.
Does he look like you?
He does, actually.
Big boy?
He will be. Yeah, he's 22 now. He hasn't got that man weight yet. But he's a spitting image of me.
I love it.
Yeah, that's wild.
You guys close?
Yeah, we have been. Yeah,
that's really nice.
We had a time where we weren't close. We had a 4-year stretch where we weren't. But
life.
That happens.
Welcome to life, right?
Yeah.
And so you've healed all that. And you were married only said for a year since your ex-wife.
Yeah, I was married for a year. I got out.
And you're still close, or
no?
I mean, you're co-parenting in an odd way.
Oh, I'm good with my son.
Mom.
I'm good with my son, but no, she's one of these very unique, rare people that are married to hate. She's
a hater. I get it.
No, it's like
Negative.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Really?
Yeah, never. I've met hateful people. I've met no good people. I've met mean people, but I've never met anybody who's married long term to the vibration of hate.
Yeah, she vibrates at a very low frequency.
Very low frequency, yeah.
And she's still out in Kansas.
Yeah.
Son still, or did he move on now?
My son is in Kansas now. He's been with me for about 4 years, but he's got himself a girlfriend. He's in Kansas.
He's been with you now?
For 4 years.
Oh, I don't know. And where do you live now?
Arizona.
Arizona. Mm-hmm. Not Fort Myers.
Nope.
Not Puerto Rico.
No, I lived in Puerto Rico for tax purposes, but not anymore.
I understand. Whereabouts, can I ask?
What, in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like any part of that island. So it's just like you got to find the best part that you can. And I like peace. I like the vibe of peace. And so I went to the west side of the island. So Aguadilla is where I'd like to go. Aguadilla is very peaceful.
My co-defendant, a guy that went to trial with me, he worked for me. He was a stud of a stockbroker. But, he was just an employee, really. Mm-hmm. They mislabeled him for the purposes of prosecuting him because he didn't cooperate, because he didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. And God forbid you fight the government. Good luck. Right. It's, it's a terrible opponent.
Sure.
How tough you are. The United States government, we take over countries.
Yeah, they have endless money, endless stamina. You can't fight them.
And endless power.
Yeah, for sure.
People underestimate the power of the United States government because, and it's a good thing in an odd way because we don't really flex as much as we could. America is far and away the most powerful country in the world financially.
Yeah, but whenever they use that power against our citizens, man,
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
I'm an example.
Yeah, right.
And technologically,
And
militarily.
By the way, it's a damn good business plan they got going on, because whenever they threw you in jail, they made about $65,000 a year for every year you were in there.
And they stole my company. That's more important. What they do. That's a new thing that is now being revealed because of what happened with President Trump. You know, if they want your business, first they try and put you out of business by overregulation. They try and break you. And then if you're really special, they come at you and they offer to buy your company. I was offered $300 million for my company.
Why didn't you take it?
Because I already had $300 million. I was actually offended by the offer. I said, what? I said, what are you giving me? You know what the guy said to me? We're giving you a chance to walk away. I had a United States Senator on my board, a United States Congressman, and a member of Parliament, a parliamentary appointee, and the Queen Mother's date for 25 years was my chairman. I was running 2 public companies, and I thought I was the big dog. And I was. Except when it comes to the Department of Justice and the United States government. Because they're all powerful. If they want you, they got you.
Sure.
If they want to kill you, you're dead.
Yep.
If they want your property, goodbye. If they don't like your country, you're fucked. Just the way it is. I mean, and I was a big dog in even a big pond, but not compared to the Department of Justice in the United States government. And when they put them on me, I didn't get it. I should have immediately said I got bad advice. I said, you know, what are they gonna, I didn't do anything wrong, first of all.
Doesn't matter.
Right. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I still believed in America, the America that I grew up with, the America that, you know, I would have died for if they drafted me.
You know as well as I do, it's not if you did something wrong, it's how convincing the attorneys are, how willing the jury is, and how fair the judge is. That's all it is.
Correct. But
it doesn't matter.
It's all rigged.
Truth just doesn't even matter.
Federal court is 100% rigged, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's the last bastion of true corruption in this country. But it's I hope, it seems that that's all changing now.
Well, I don't know if it's changing, but I know that Trump wants to change it. I don't know if it's so systemic that it would take years and years.
It's going to take years. But I saw a very interesting, because I got to know the real Chad Peterson on Instagram. And you did something with the liberals about giving away your money. And you're like, fuck you. It's my money.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of liberal bullshit is that? I should give away my money because you think, what am I, communist? What am I, a socialist?
Yeah.
They're going to do more smarter things and better things with my money than I would or my family would. I mean, I felt outraged listening to that because I'm on your side.
Yeah.
But for the last, I think, 12 of the last 16 years, and even during Trump, they so sabotaged his first term.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I was real upset that he lost a second time. It really hurt me that he lost.
I don't think he lost.
I know, he didn't lose.
They stole it.
No, for sure. But I'm saying the fact that he didn't win hurt me. But now I look at it as a blessing because we got the House and we got the Senate, we got all of it.
It was God's will.
Yeah, it was in due timing. But man, the guy,
he had 4 years. He had 4 years to think about it.
Almost died a couple times, man.
They tried to kill a guy.
Oh,
They tried to put him in prison. You know, he's sitting in the White House right now. He was convicted of 32 felonies. Right now, he is an ex-convict. So all you guys out there that are felons, stop whining. Go, go, go. This guy took the White House. 32. I only was convicted of 4 felonies. I'm like a chump. Maybe I could be a senator. But I'm going to tell you, 32 convictions. He's sitting in the White House. By the way, he's facing another 60. They stayed the proceedings.
Until he gets out.
They're going to, unless, things change, and I'm sure they will. I think they're unraveling now Obama's plot. This whole Russiagate hoax was a scam.
Oh, yeah.
They're finding all this evidence now, and hopefully they're going to bring charges against people that Brennan, Clapper, all these different people. But I loved your post.
Yeah, and so that post came from, let me tell you about that real quick. So that post came from a very dear friend of mine. A long time ago, him and I became friends. We're talking when we were 14 years old.
Wow.
And this guy had made money. He was doing good things. You know, he was 23 years old. He had real estate. He had 4 or 5 properties. He had a job that paid him 6 figures. He had everything. And then he started doing drugs. He started doing ecstasy. He started doing it so heavily. He was doing it multiple times a day for days on end. And he fried his brain, man. And so that guy's had, in the last, 3 years, he's had like 30 jobs. Okay. He can't hold a job anymore.
It's freaking terrible.
So because he can't figure out his life anymore, he calls me and says, "Hey man, what are you doing with your money?" I said, "What the fuck does it matter what I'm doing with my money? It's not your money."
Right.
He said, "Well, you should give it away to people because you make too much money." And I said, "Fuck you, man. You're not going to call me and tell me what to do with my money, all your liberal bullshit." And so this guy would make, he can barely pay his bills, but he's lost his mind. Okay. And so he would go make $500 and he would go donate it to some charitable cause and then not have money for rent. I'm like, man, you got to take care of yourself first. He's calling me thinking I make too much money. I need to give it away.
He's probably thinking you should give it away to him, maybe.
Yeah, well, and I did a little bit of that, but you don't want to over help somebody because now you enable them.
I agree with you, but it's always good to a guy's drowning, you throw him a life preserver. But
absolutely,
like you say, it comes to a point when you're an enabler, you're actually adding to the problem.
Absolutely.
So now you're in Kansas. Let's go back now. You meet this woman, you knock her up, you get married.
Yep.
You get divorced. You have a son.
Yep.
And you become a pilot. And then 9/11 happens, and you're fucking shit out of luck. And that's, talk about a crazy circumstance beyond your control.
Yeah, so I was in Florida, lost my job, had no money. I was homeless here in Florida. I was homeless until I got a plane ticket back home, still homeless, went back. Dead ass broke because I was holding on for my number to fly
American Eagle, right?
Yep, and it was done. I thought I was going to come back, and it wasn't. So I went all the way down to zero, went back to Kansas, and tried to figure out what the hell am I going to do. I got a kid.
So
on
now the story begins.
Yeah, trying to figure out
ground zero now.
Yeah, ground zero. Trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do.
You probably had debts, in fact. Probably had some credit card debt and all that kind of nonsense.
At that point, I had around $80,000.
All right.
And the school, they got in so much trouble that some of my debt went away.
That's good.
So that was a blessing.
Thank God.
And I just went back to what I knew, man. I went to go out there and start a business. And that's how my whole career started.
Not get a job.
No.
Start a business.
No, start a business. I started a business, and then what I did to make my money is I started a business, and I never built a huge business. I never did the numbers that you did. But I would build a business that made me say $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year.
Good business.
But then I would sell that business for 3 times what it net me. Okay?
I get it.
So once I'm tired of it, number one, I wasn't really that excited about the businesses that I built anyway. I wasn't like my soul was on fire because I was so passionate, but I could go make $200,000 or $300,000 a year.
And you got that quickly. That's reasonably quick.
I get to
go from there to the million part. That's a little bit tougher.
Well, right. So
when you sell it, you get yourself some real capital.
Yeah. So if I can make $250,000, I can sell that business for $750,000, and then I can go do something else.
I get it.
And I can leverage that money into something bigger.
That is a great strategy.
Yeah. So I've written 6 books about it. I wrote Quantum Stack Investing.
I love that.
Which is a 420-page book that shows you exactly how to do it.
How do we get that book? Quantum Stack Investing.
ChadPeterson.com.
Okay. Is it also Amazon and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, Amazon and ChadPeterson.com.
I love it.
Yeah. So Quantum Stack Investing shows you exactly how to do it. And then the QSI Shift is more for business owners that want to sell their business. I outline the 14 different ways that business is done and why my method beats them all. Because I created a wealth building methodology. That's why I told you earlier, am I a broker? Not really. What I do is I teach you how to take a business, unlock that liquidity, use that liquidity because liquidity leads to wealth. That's what people don't understand. Paychecks lead to poverty.
100%.
Liquidity leads to wealth.
Same thing in the stock market.
Yeah.
You could have millions of shares of stock, but if there were no way to convert that money, that stock into money, currency,
then it's nothing.
Well, it's just wallpaper. Yeah,
exactly. And so what I find is that people are, they're smiling, owning their business, but their business owns them. They're really upset inside. They're not spiritually aligned.
They're just doing prison.
They're imprisoned through their business.
I get it.
And so what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to just make a buck off of selling your business, man. I'm trying to show you how to take your business that's killing you because you're burned out and you're bored. And you've sold yourself out because you think you need to sell yourself out to go make dollars. And that's not true. You can go do something else. So you sell this business, create that liquidity event.
Get roughly 2.5 to 3.5 times, correct?
Yeah.
Revenue or profit?
Profit.
Oh, profit. Oh, yeah. Profit. I didn't know
cash flow. So, people say, I did $10 million last year. I say, okay, how much you make? Well, I made $500,000. Okay, well, your business is worth $1.5 million.
Right. It's not worth $10 million.
No. So everybody likes that big number, but the smaller number is really what it is.
Right.
So what I try to do, I told you I'm a minister. I try to.
You got to get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No, not yet.
Well, I was going to say
brilliant.
What I try to do is I start there. So I call it business ministry. Okay, so your life is miserable. You're not happy with the way it's going. You probably already ran through one wife. You don't have work-life balance, which I'm not a believer in work-life balance anyway.
Me neither.
But
I don't know if there's such a thing.
I don't think there is.
When you're really wealthy, then you find balance. That's been my formula.
When you find your lane, when you finally find
Correct.
the lane, and you know when it happens.
You don't have to grind 18 hours a day to make it happen.
Absolutely.
There's no balance in that grind.
Or whenever you just enjoy everything you're doing.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah.
I'll work 18 hours a day if I enjoy it.
Me too.
I
don't do it unless I enjoy it.
Yeah, right. I don't either. So
Work is a dirty word to me.
I tell people where there's no passion, there's no profit.
Exactly. I love it.
Okay.
No real profit.
Yeah. And so what I do is I take that business and we use that liquidity to leverage right into wealth. And then I help that person move up to something. And I ask them questions that they've never asked themselves before, man. This is real. I ask them questions. Hey, what do you want? They don't know.
Right.
What do you want? What do you mean? What do I want? I mean, I've got a wife. I got a kid.
Right.
Yeah. I know you got all that, but what do you really want?
Hey, it's funny.
What do you really want? Oh, I don't know. I've never really asked myself that. And it's like, why? Why do you ask yourself what you really want?
Scary for people.
And so I've talked to thousands of entrepreneurs, thousands of business owners, and I've seen things that other business people don't see. Okay, I mean, I'm behind the closed door when a man cries because of what's going on in his business. And I like taking those people and moving them up to something different and helping them with those questions. What do you want? Where do you want to live? What kind of money do you want to make? And I can get them there. So I don't just sell businesses. I transform people's lives.
That's really important that you suggest. I mean, this is really great stuff, and it's important we get this out. Yeah. It is, because you're not just a business broker.
No.
You happen to broker businesses as part of the process. Mm-hmm. That's just a small piece.
Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
And you teach people how to broker their business.
I teach people. I have courses. I have written 6 books.
You're an educator.
Yes, I'm a wealth teacher, and but I'm just doing what I've done my whole life. Okay, so I'm just teaching you how to do it. I built a business. I found that I lost the passion, and I've trademarked the passion cycle. It's trademarked, and the passion cycle says. And by the way, this is with a human and this is with a business too. Okay, so you can fall in love with a woman or you can fall in love with a business idea. You're going to start off obsessed. You're going to fall into passion. After passion, you're going to go to burnout. After passion, you're going to fall into boredom. And after boredom, you're going to go to burnout. And it's whenever you get burned out that you call me and you say, hey, sell my business for me. And I say, great, I'd love to help you. Send me your tax returns. They send me their tax returns. And like I say, where there's no passion, there's no profit. Because when you hate your business, you're not giving it what it needs. And now you come to me and it's a sinking ship. And I don't sell sinking ships. I sell businesses that are profitable for people that are going to improve their life by buying a profitable business.
Let me ask you a couple of questions now, because I play at an advanced level.
Yeah.
So most entrepreneurs and most operators of businesses, it's a small business. You make, it does $10 million, you make a half, let's say. It's a decent size, but it's not. I'm a Wall Street type guy. We see, that doesn't even move the needle. But a guy that's got a $10 million business that takes $500,000 in income, usually you can find squeeze another million out of that, if you know what I mean. They don't always report.
If you don't show it, I can't get it for you.
Okay, but you understand the point, right?
Yeah, I understand the point.
Most of it is hidden, in my experience.
It is, and it really hurts business owners to do that. And so what I tell them to do is, hey, that's cool. You're playing the tax game. I can't help you right now if you want that kind of value. But
if you want the value, here's what you need to do.
It's real simple.
Correct.
Like brokers try to overcomplicate it, and they try to say, well, you need this strategy and all this shit. All my books have real strategy. Okay, I don't hornswoggle people or fool people into some quasi strategy that doesn't exist. I just tell people, pay your taxes. That means you showed your income.
Put the profits on the books.
You put your profit on your books.
Stop the nonsense.
And then your business value will skyrocket, and then I can help you. So I can't help you now, but I'm not in the right now business anyway. Come back to me in a year from now, and I'll take care of you.
Now, how does the typical, let's just use this example, $10 million a year.
Gross total?
Yeah, 500,000 to the bottom line.
That'd be pretty high. It's 50% margin is pretty high. I usually see around 20-25%.
Okay,
margin.
but I'm saying let's just take this example for math. 10 million, 500,000 I take out, and that's my income.
Oh, 10 million and 500,000. Okay, got it. Right. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
So it's a nice life. $500,000, you could live nice. 10 million in revenue, you can still do some things there. But so it's worth $1.5 million on the market. You're saying on the private market, right? My question is this. How much does he pay the broker, the typical broker? Forget you for a minute, but the typical business broker, what is his commission on something like
10%.
Just 10%?
Yeah.
It's very reasonable.
Yeah, it is reasonable. And really the cost of me is you don't really feel the cost of me because by the time I get the deal done.
You had so much value.
Yeah. By the time I get the deal done, which here's a little stat for you. It's pretty wild, but only 11% of businesses that go to sell and go to sell in the market actually sell. 11%. I sell 90% of what I sell.
I knew that it was a low number, but I had no idea it was that low.
11%. So last year, 3.5 million people wanted to buy a business. 3.5 million people went to Biz Buy Sell and filled out NDAs and personal financial statements to buy businesses. Out of 3.5 million people that wanted to buy a business, 9,500 were able to.
Wow. Why is that?
Because there's a huge chasm in understanding how a business is actually bought and how people approach buying a business. And
what about selling the business? Does the same?
Yeah, it's the same thing because it's the opposite of the relationship. Yeah, so many business owners want to go sell their business. Only 11% actually sell. Yeah, because of the misunderstanding of how it sells. And here's how it usually goes. This is no shit. Here's how it goes. Somebody says, I'm going to sell my business. And they come to me and they say, yeah, hey, I think we're going to hire you because you know what you're doing. And I say, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, I do. Shake hands, engage, do the engagement. About 3 or 4 months in, it starts to become real. People don't like change.
Very resistant. Correct.
So as soon as I get them what they said they wanted, now every awful part of their personality starts to come out. Then what they do is they call their attorney. And attorneys are the biggest deal killers.
Yep, accountants and attorneys.
And you know what? I fire more clients than I keep now.
Wow. Well, you also, my guess is Chad Peterson doesn't just take any business.
No, I don't. I do not.
You probably reject more than 3/4 of the people that come to you.
I reject 97%.
I didn't want to say it, but
97%. If you show me your personality where I know that you're going to make me work and suffer over the next year to get it done, if you're going to get in my way, or if I think that you're not running a really solid business, even though you're trying to make it sound like you are, I just won't bring you on. So I have a lot of people that work with me across the country. Okay, we could do about 75 deals a year. Okay, is what.
And how long is the typical deal, time wise?
6 months
from start to finish.
6 months.
It's quite a process.
Yeah, sometimes maybe 9 months. But we can do about 75 deals a year. So think about that. If you come to me and you're not really a client that's going to work with me or whatever, I only got so much bandwidth.
I get it.
You know, and so people come to me with the worst part of their personalities, and then they say, well, I'm going to have my accountant look at this. I'm going to have my attorney look at that. And I'm like, then why don't you just call your accountant and your attorney to sell your business?
Yeah.
And they can't. Well, so, you know, so you're either trusting me to do it or you're not.
You're the guy that's going to get the money, and they run into the guys that are costing the money.
Exactly.
It's just typical human behavior, I hate to say.
It is.
It's the norm for them.
But I have to be calm in my being. I have to be spiritually centered. I cannot trade myself out for $1.
No, you drive yourself nuts.
Right. So I'm very picky and choosy on who I work with, and I think that vibration has shifted over the last 7 or 8 years. I think that people are doing business with people they want to do business with, and I don't think people are shortcutting themselves to go make $1 anymore.
You know, I'm a little bit older than you, and I have a little bit more business experience than you just because of my age, right? Because we're both workers from a young age. But my sense is that you aren't always this guy. You aren't always this calm guy wearing Amazonian fish boots and with this beautiful polish to you. You know, you had to start somewhere. And, you know, when we start, you know, if this is the end product, I'm trying to imagine going back 10 years when you weren't as, let's say, calm, as slick, as well put together. You hadn't written 6 books. You know, you weren't wearing the right Rolex, et cetera. So, you know, I don't want the average guy out there to be dissuaded, because sometimes to meet a guy like you, it's intimidating. I mean, I know who I am, and I'm a bit older, but I look at you when you walk in a room, it's like, bro, you know, it's like in The Rock. It's like a statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, you're a serious man.
I intimidate people. I intimidate men, and I intimidate women, and it shows up differently with each sex.
Now, you've only been married once? Or
yeah,
no?
Married once.
How is that possible?
Well, I'm not monogamous, so you know, and I own it.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm not monogamous, and I own it. And
it's a tough thing for a man. I don't know.
It is. And so when I meet women, and I get, it's going to sound arrogant or whatever, but I get hit on my DMs all the time from women.
I'm not shocked if they God forbid they met you in person. Forget about it, you're the real deal.
Thanks, brother.
You know, joke.
Appreciate that. And I get hit all the time, and I tell them, man, hey, thank you. I appreciate you contacting me. I'm not monogamous here, and I give them the full thing, and they can't imagine. But I don't understand how they can't imagine when, if you just look at the data, look at what's going on out there.
Right.
Look at divorce court. Look at the CEO.
There's a lot of crazies out there.
Look at the CEO that just got fucking around in his life.
Yeah.
You know, I tell women that the cheating wasn't the lie. The lie was at the altar when he told in front of everybody. He told 500 people, her and only her.
Forever.
That was the beginning of the end.
Till death.
Yeah, but what if he just said, like, look at Conor McGregor. Okay, he's fucking around on his wife left and right.
Yes.
She's obviously okay with it.
She's aware of it, yeah.
Okay, so he obviously was honest about it. And so women can't get this through their head that men are not, in fact, monogamous. They're not. There isn't one male species in the kingdom that's monogamous.
Not by nature.
Not by nature.
Nature.
Can you become monogamous? Can you be monogamous? Can you trade that in if you really love a woman? Yes, you can. And as you get older, it's easier to do.
Trust me on that. I can confirm that.
Yeah.
It's easier when you get older.
Yeah, it's easier as you get older.
When you're young, it's impossible.
It's impossible. And so women put men, I shouldn't say that actually, men put themselves in the situation to satisfy the woman to be monogamous.
They agree.
He trades in his
path
natural,
of least resistance.
Yeah,
it's a lie.
It's a lie, and so until we start telling the truth, we're always going to be enmeshed in the lie. And so I've always just been truthful, and so I'm with a gal now, and I'm not monogamous, and she knows it.
How long you been with her?
3 years, and she's wonderful.
What's her name?
Her name's Katie.
Katie, a little shout out here because you got a real man, and I have mad respect for you.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
I bet you she's a really attractive woman.
She's beautiful
in every which way.
On the inside especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you and I'll tell your audience this, man. You don't have to. Well, 2 things. You don't have to trade yourself out to go make $1, and you don't have to trade yourself out to be in love either. Tell somebody the truth.
I love it.
Because if you tell somebody the truth of who you are, at least you have a fighting chance of finding love. I'm not saying you will find love.
Correct.
But if you're being dishonest,
love is,
you don't have a snowflake's chance in hell.
You just destroyed the whole foundation of
right.
love. The actual foundation.
Yeah. So
is sharing intimacy, which is open and honest.
Yeah. So if you're honest, you have a fighting chance.
I didn't get married till I was 41 years old.
Good for you.
So people say to me,
Good for you.
They saw my wife. She's beautiful. She's 17 years younger than me. They say, this is your second family, your third family. I said, no, it's my only family. I didn't have a kid till I was 42. I had my second child when I was 46. Because I was incapable of making that commitment.
Yeah.
There were certain commitments in my mind that were non-negotiable. So,
and you're easier to commit to work. You have you have domination in you. You want to make all you can, and you want to give all you can to work. And it takes not a special kind of woman, because I don't think it's special, but I think it takes a certain kind of woman to understand that.
And be fully supportive. It takes a very secure woman.
Yeah, for sure.
Because work has always been my first wife, if you will.
Me too.
Because it's, to me, they say, you shouldn't be what you do. You should be a man. They used to say to me, so who are you? I say, I'm a stockbroker. They said, no, that's what you do. Who are you? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a trader.
Well, that's interpersonal work, is what
right.
we're talking about.
So I had to learn that there's a separate guy from what I do.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't understand that till I was literally in my 30s.
Yeah, I went to a lot of deep interpersonal workshops.
Me too.
And I learned that. Yeah. I went to Focus. I went to Landmark.
I love it.
And 4-day deep dives into who you are. And Tony Robbins, too. Tony Robbins is a hell of a man.
Hell of a man.
I went through...
An early mentor for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But I was in psychotherapy for 7 years, just so you know.
I was in psychotherapy for 22 years.
Wow.
I did it on purpose every Saturday. In fact, I'm great friends with my
I love it.
With my guy now. So every Saturday at 10 a.m., I was in his chair for 2.5 hours. And it wasn't just psychotherapy. It was just everything, Stoic philosophy to health to business to relationships to negotiations, sales, anything.
It's all included. It's the whole
it's
thing.
all in there. And so 23 years and counting.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know why? That's why you can walk into a room and have this commanding presence, because it's something that comes from within you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's there's a light. They call it energy. It's light that comes right out of you. I detect that instantly. It's like, because I don't know, maybe it's my age. I'm very sensitive. Maybe I'm coming to end of life. I don't know. But I want to get now. So business is your thing in an odd way, but it's really more than that, really. You really understand the human psyche.
Oh,
so
big time.
Relationships.
Big time.
Because for you to be able to orate so distinctly your sort of, it's going to be very, it was a little Andrew Tate-ish, but you're just saying to men, be honest.
Yeah.
Stop lying. Because when you lie, you're not hurting the other person. You're killing yourself.
Yeah. Well, so it takes two to make a lie.
Correct.
Okay?
I agree
so
with that.
if you create an environment where you're going to shun me for me being me in some way, therefore I have to respond to you in a way that is a lie. That way we have an agreeable environment to live in with one another. It took two to make a lie. So people, like I hear women say, "Oh, he lied to me. He lied to me." I said, well, maybe he did. That's fair. But were you going to let him be honest?
Definitely not.
No. And so, be honest with yourself, because people don't lie to other people. They first lie to themselves.
Correct. They lie to themselves.
You lie to yourself, and then as a consequence, you lie to other people. And I have a saying, I say you can't explain it to the dog. And what I mean by that is,
I love that.
What I mean is, if somebody can't understand it, they can't understand it. I mean, I was on Facebook the other day about the CEO that just got caught fucking around on his wife.
Right.
And I said, men aren't monogamous. And you guys think he needs to lose $30 million over getting some extracurricular
sex? That's another story. Who invented this shit?
I tell you what, I've been with Katie for 3 years, and I've been with other women, and I didn't lose $25 million, and she didn't want me to lose $1.
I mean,
so guys, find somebody that will love you for yourself is what I would say. And if
give
not,
up
just
half.
If not, stay single. Stay single.
I have a guy that I mentor, and a wonderful guy, a big heart. He was a professional athlete, and he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And
how are you a professional athlete and a doctor? What kind of athlete?
he's both. He was a professional. I don't want to give away too much.
He was a professional athlete.
Yeah.
And
then
became
and a doctor.
Okay,
He became a doctor because he had so many injuries. He wanted to learn and ended up going to school.
Physiology, yeah.
But when he got divorced, he got into the situation where he pays. I never heard of this before, but now that we talk about it, alimony for life.
Whoa.
I never heard of that. I mean, he's got to support this woman.
Yeah.
For life. They've had 3 kids together, but all the kids are grown.
He must have taken a longer payout for a lesser monthly.
He pays, he's paying more than $100,000 a year, and it's interesting because I never even knew this kind of thing existed. I always thought when the kids get to a certain age,
first time I've heard of it.
Right, you pay child support, you pay for the college, you carve out different exceptions, but for life, and then. She can't even live on that kind of money, lost a house, and has to move in with him. I said, what? I mean, it's just, but people, if you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, they're going to take advantage.
You've been to prison, and
I have.
And I don't know if you want to say this actually, but I mean, I guess I'll be bold to assert this. But
let's go.
Okay, well, this is going to be a little rough one. That in prison, 98% of those guys are in there because of a woman.
I do. And I have even a grander, I think 98% of things happen in this world because of women.
Yes. And am I putting women down? No, I'm not.
No, the power that women have.
Yes. And what I'm trying to say is that a man is responsible when he makes the decisions he makes to dance with that devil. Like this man you speak of, wonderful man, wonderful heart, athlete, hard worker, smart,
animal,
driven, all that. And he gave it all to this woman who would take his ass to the cleaners for the rest of his life.
Correct.
And what I'm saying is,
I believe she's entitled.
Yeah.
On top of it.
So you asked me why I was only married for 1 year. And I tell people I did a 1 year stint.
I have mad respect for you from this whole conversation.
1 year stint.
I have mad respect for you and your honesty and your ability to share this so eloquently and so logically. We might start a little revolution here.
Thank you.
I mean that sincerely because these are things men don't talk about so openly. Mm-hmm. They get bashed.
Yeah, and men want to be good to women. We really do. It's in our code. It's on our DNA.
It is.
Right now, there's 3 of us in this studio right here. And if a woman was crying outside, we would all go out there.
Yep.
And if a woman was being hurt out there,
we would all run.
The problem would be solved. Okay, we have it in us. We naturally want to take care of women, but what women have done is they've made it almost impossible to love them in this modern day culture. That's why men are leaving this country to go find women in other countries that are not Americanized. It's happening in record numbers.
I don't know how we got into this conversation, but yes, it is. It's almost taboo to discuss, so you know. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take heat from the women. I have 2 daughters. I'm going to take heat for this, but you hit it on the head.
Yep.
You hit it on the head. Bro, guys are going to the Philippines. They're going to Thailand. They're going to Colombia. Every one of my friends is saying, let's go to Colombia for a week. I say, really? Where do you want to go in Colombia? Medellin. I said, oh, they have nice beaches? No, there's no beaches. There's no beaches.
Yeah.
So what do? Well, basically, you get up, you stay in a nice hotel for no money, a magnificent place that would cost you, $3,000 a day for $3 a day, and you eat great food.
Yep.
For under $10 a day.
Great culture, great food,
and basically you hang out, and you just live your life, and you meet women. And you could be with a different women if you want. If you have the Moxie twice a day for very little money.
You got the Moxie.
If you have the Moxie and the Viagra twice a day. And, you're going to be in heaven.
Yeah, and so this is what women don't understand is, and you know, I'll be labeled as a misogynist. I'll be labeled as a sexist.
It was all him.
This.
It was all Chad.
Yeah, it was all me. and frankly, it was. I mean, I sent us into this conversation. I just think it goes to the whole story of selling yourself out for $1 or selling yourself out for a relationship.
Selling yourself out is selling yourself out.
Yeah, you don't have to. And so women have to ask themselves, what do you really bring to the table? Because I believe that women bring life to the table, and that's enough.
They bring a lot. They bring a lot.
Yeah, women bring.
Not all women, by the way.
Right, but women bring life. I mean, I'm here because of a woman. I mean, let's not misunderstand that. Women bring a ton to the table.
True.
Okay,
that is true.
But on a day-to-day, why would I put myself in a position where if you decide that you want to leave me, that I owe you millions of dollars, and in this case, the guy you're talking about owes this woman for life? Why would I want to? And I'm just asking the question.
Why would you ever want to be in that kind of deal?
Right,
it's a bad deal.
But I actually asked the question. Why would I want to? In other words, I'm not just saying it as a statement. Why would I want to? Tell me what you're doing to bring me that kind of reward for that kind of risk, right? So you know, you're only going to take a risk that's proportionate to the reward you're going to gain.
I get it.
And so for me, I'm never going to put myself in that situation. So when you ask me why was I married for 1 year, 1 year was enough, brother.
Bro, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I get all this. I'm just saying I want to make it clear to the world. I got a family that I craved and two magnificent daughters.
That's great.
That bring me.
That's great.
To me, it's priceless.
Oh, man. I think it is
priceless. But I want
priceless,
you to understand, one of my gifts, I don't have that many, but one of my gifts is, thank you, but one of my real true gifts is I see value before everybody else. Not before everybody, but I generally see value.
Talent. You can spot talent.
I see talent right away, but I understand value earlier in the game than most people. I never want to be the first, even if I recognize value, but I'm very good at assessing value early in the game, which is something that's helped me on Wall Street. It's helped me in business. It's helped me with women. It's helped me in many different opportunities.
Me too.
Yeah,
just being able to know who you're around, pick up on their energy, know who they are, knowing how to step. I mean, we mentioned somebody before this podcast. I won't mention his name because we're live now, but you got to watch how you step with him.
I get it.
You know, you got to watch.
Really watch.
Yeah, you got to watch how you step.
Very shrewd.
Yeah, and I love the guy, but you got to watch how you step, and so you know that kind of thing. You know, you have to have that intuition, or you're going to make mistakes.
And listen, you make a mistake. There's nothing wrong with mistakes. That's why they put erasers on pencils, because we make mistakes. But you have to learn from your mistakes, and that's one thing I applaud you now with going back to this 1 year. Escapade in Kansas with the wrong woman, because you're not going to make that mistake again. You're a smart guy.
Yeah.
That's what a smart person is.
Yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. Doesn't matter. Friggin' Jeff Bezos gave his first wife $30 or $40 billion.
I don't fucking get it. I don't get it.
But you know what he did
and he's
say?
Getting married again. He's getting married again.
No, he's married. He got married. He got married.
Well.
He had a $100 million wedding. But I want to say that to his defense, Lauren Sanchez, and she's giving away most of the money. Of
course.
What a shock. You don't earn it. It's easy to give it away.
Yeah.
But he did say in his defense, Amazon, that we know and we love today and value, would not be that Amazon without her. She was literally the co-founder. So I get it.
Okay. Well, see, I didn't know that.
So I get it. He's no dope, this guy.
I didn't know that.
He's no dope. Is he getting a little dopey with this one? I don't know all the details. I don't know if he's got a prenup, et cetera, but he's having fun. And he's a hardworking guy.
Well, you know, to retract some of my comments earlier, just to, you know, maybe soften it up a little bit, I have no problem with a woman taking half if she did half.
If she contributed, right.
But contribute, you know, that's the gray area. And the Supreme Court needs to change the laws because men are on strike right now with marriage.
I get it.
And we're on strike because the laws are at a disadvantage for us. And so I'm all for that. If a woman builds that company, but, you know, I see people like, well, okay, Donald Trump, okay, he had everything documented. You know, his prenup was bulletproof, and should Melania leave him, she knows exactly what she gets. Okay,
I will tell you, I have extreme knowledge.
Yeah.
My former stepfather, Seymour Rice, shout out Seymour. He's like 92 years old now in New York City, one of the top estate lawyers in the world, and he did the prenup, the postnup, and the living arrangement with a girl called Marla Maples.
Yeah, I know.
Trump got married.
Yeah.
And she only got $1 million. But for the child, he was Donald Trump. He's a great father.
Oh, yeah.
He paid for everything. And she sued him. And she got the most vicious lawyers in America to sue. And
yeah, you can dispute anything.
right, anything.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
the court upheld
yeah.
Seymour's, my stepfather's, and that was the first time I went to Mar-a-Lago. Trump had a dinner for him. This is long before he was running for president. All that. This is, before my legal troubles. And said we had a toast, and Trump said he's the best lawyer in the world because they went after him. The lawyers spent more than $1 million in legal fees to try and get her umpteen millions, and the court said this is airtight.
Yeah.
There's not even a chance. So I get it, and unfortunately, somewhere along the line, marriage became a business deal, not just a love deal.
Hey, man, it's business. It's business with sex.
Yeah, and listen, I'm familiar with the sex business, but you have clearly elucidated, and you're living an example. Some of these guys, they come, they talk stuff, and then you look at their lives, and it's completely different. You have lived your life and conducted yourself in direct accordance with your philosophy that you're sharing with us today. Yeah. And I mad respect for you, bro.
Thank you.
Mad respect. I say that to you.
Thank you. And keep in mind, what people don't understand is that your biggest expense in business and in life is taxes. It's your biggest expense.
Well, women.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
It's close.
I'm getting there. So your biggest expense,
it's very close.
Your biggest expense is taxes. Now, if Uncle Sam takes half of what you make, and they will if you make enough money. Correct. They're going to take about half, maybe about 53% by the time you take account.
Depends where you live and all that, right?
Yep, about 53%. We're in a good state here.
Oh, he's great.
But let's just say 50%.
New York is like 59%.
Now, if you get divorced, that's 50%. How many halves are left after 50
You're
and
toast,
50?
Bro. You're toast.
Right? So just be careful is what I say. I think marriage is good. I think women are wonderful. But man, not every situation is good for everybody, and you got to be careful.
I think it's a bad business. I think marriage has become a very bad business deal.
Oh, it's a business where a woman gains monetarily from a man's loss. Period. End of story.
It's a bad business.
And
deal.
so men are on strike, and women are wondering, where are all the men now?
I get it.
Well, you told them they told them they can't hit on you. You told them that's harassment.
Thing, right.
You told them
the old Me Too business.
Yeah, you said that a man hitting on you is harassment, and then you said that you don't need a man. Well, we listened.
Right.
You don't need a man. And so I don't even have to get on a dating app. I get women hitting my inbox left and right.
We're social media guys, so we have. Yeah. It's like a parade. I hate to say it like that.
Right. So, but if I wasn't on social media,
you just walk down the street.
I could walk down the street to a bar or whatever. I'm going to find a woman or just a dating app.
They find you.
A dating app.
You want dating apps?
Well, no, I'm saying I could.
Oh yeah.
If I got on a dating app, give me 2 weeks. I'll have sex 6 days a week and take Sundays off.
Yeah, exactly.
So why would I want to put myself in a situation where I'm going to cost myself that money?
Right. So typically what happens is, as events continue to grow in this direction, there's a tipping point, and things will start to change. I hope, because I see everything you're saying, and I haven't looked at it through the lens that we're sharing today, but there's no flaw in your argument. Everything you're saying is true. It's just, it's frightening, ladies. You better tighten up.
Yeah, I think you know what.
And I have daughters, so listen. I'm going to get another side of this argument.
Well, and I want to say something about that. I think this is important, okay? Because we've gotten on this subject. We might as well finish it out. Women have done this, and that's fine that they've done it to them. But how? This is what I tell women. You think you have an argument. Men are useless. You don't need men. Men aren't that important. All this stuff. You've done this for yourself.
Yeah, that's
fine.
Big problem.
But now tell me how you explain this to your granddaughter.
It's going to be.
And you know what? Not one woman has been able to explain it to me. for their granddaughter. Not one woman.
I get it.
They go, ooh, I don't know. Well, geez, man. So I think women are powerful. I think women are wonderful. And if it's going to come back, it's going to be because women banded together to bring men back. Let's let women pursue a big change. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Look how powerful they were at that.
Right. Look what they did.
Bring women together to change Supreme Court law, to make the laws more agreeable for men. Change the field
Well,
of how it's
not just more agreeable for men. I know I was in prison. This is a crazy thing now. Mm-hmm. With men that make a living off women. I was in prison with men that had literally 10 baby mamas and one guy over 35 kids, and you're only allowed 30 on your list at one time in federal prison to this minute. And I said, how do you choose who to communicate with on email, on the phone, on your list? Because if it's not on the list, you can't communicate with them at any one period of time.
Well, they probably choose themselves.
What they say is the men are like, if you don't send me money, you're off. Their baby mamas pay them.
That's an ultimate bum right there.
But I just want you to understand how crazy men in prison living off women.
That's wild.
Guys like us don't even think like that.
No, that's a world I don't know, man.
Right, and it's disgusting. And a lot of guys in Florida, they hang out in Palm Beach, a lot of wealthy widows and divorcees, etc. High society, very rich women. And guys just go fishing, really. And it's an easy thing to do. If you want, I mean, if you can attract a woman, if you can carry a conversation, if you're half good looking, I mean, I know it's something that's so foreign to a man like you and me. I hate to say it.
No, I'm going to take care of a woman. I'm going to protect a woman.
That's how I am.
I'm going to love her. She's not going to pay for dinner. She's not going to open up her doors. I'm going to open up her doors. She can open up the car door. That's too far. But any door we walk into.
But you would.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to open up a woman's car door.
Well,
they made them to where it's a 1 pound pull. You do that. But I'm going to walk into any restaurant, anywhere we walk into. My woman knows, don't walk in front of me. She knows that, so I can open up the door for you, because that's just who I am. I'm going to take care of you. So for me to live off of a woman, that's just a world
I couldn't either. I couldn't either.
No.
I was in prison. I was still organizing monies for women. But let's move along now, because something that's fascinating to me, as a business guy, your acumen to me is fairly obvious to me, and I think it's pretty obvious to everybody. Anybody that follows you, if they don't follow you, they should follow you, because this is the real deal here. And but we talk about ministry, so I want to talk to you about God. You believe in God? I mean, the church. I mean, let's dial back the clock again. Tell us about your experience with religion and ministry, etc.
Well, my experience, I'll get to that in a second, but I think the first thing to say about God is that we collectively, all of us, have to quit referring to God as a he. That's
a good point.
Because God is not a man. God is not a woman either. It's not physical in nature. The sexual orientation has nothing to do with spirit in the next life. So God is not a man. Number one, you have to start there. So my experience in church is that I went to church to find some answers. I think a lot of people do that. You get to a point in your life where you've dealt with so much pain, and you're wondering what the hell to do. The bottom's fallen out of your life enough times, and you go to church to find some answers. And because I am who I am, because I'm so driven, I got work ethic of 10 people. I don't do anything halfway. So
I love that.
So
you raised Christian?
No.
Catholic?
Nothing.
Baptist?
Nothing.
You said church though, so I'm just trying to.
Well, I went to church on my own. I wasn't raised in it.
What kind of church?
Oh, I went to a non-denominational Christian church.
Okay, non-denominational.
Yeah. And so I went there for answers, and that was a cool church, but it didn't really bring me the answers. So I went to another church, and it was a bigger church, and I got involved with with them there. And they, because of who I am, they wanted to use me as a leader, because that's what churches do.
But you're also a natural leader.
Well, yeah, but they wanted to use me as a leader, right? So
it.
they said, well, hey, why don't you could lead men, you could lead church groups. And they asked me to. And I said, well, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't think I'm qualified, number one. And so I said, give me some time though. And they kept asking me. So I went and read the Bible. And I've read it cover to cover 3 times. I became a minister. I started leading men in church. And I was doing this, and I was speaking the real word. And the church didn't like it.
Wow.
Because they like churchianity. Okay, Christianity has now become churchianity. And so it has to be soft, it has to be kind, it has to be, vanilla, it has to be boring. You don't talk about certain parts of the Bible. You don't talk about that fact. That churches have been really clever to get money out of people's pockets.
That's what it's.
And it's a feel-good place. And so when you're this deep into it, earlier whenever we first started talking, I said you've been in Wall Street, so you know more. You know all the doors. You had a falling out with the government. You've seen every door in the door of Wall Street. Well, when you become a minister, you see all the trap doors in religion.
I get that.
And so I've seen it from a 360-degree angle. And so I really know what Christ was here to do. Christ was here to talk about consciousness. He was here to talk about love. And he was here to talk about how you got to stay out of fear. And he was here to also tell us that you could have 12 people that say they're ride or dies, and 2 of them are going to sell you out, and only 1 will be at your graveside. And Christ came here to teach us that if you're bold, they will kill you. So the messages that he really came here to teach us, people are missing. They just say, well, be a nice guy. Be a nice. Christ was such a nice guy.
He was a rebel.
Well, let me tell you something. He wasn't a nice guy, and they don't kill nice guys. And Mr. Rogers was a nice guy. He didn't get killed.
Right.
Donald Trump. I love Trump. Not a nice guy.
No, not
okay,
at all.
If you're bold, if you tell the truth, they will try to kill you. So
lock you up.
Yeah, both. So the real lessons are in the Bible right there if you read it and you get out of the dogmatic teachings and fundamentals of church. The lessons are right in front of you.
Right there.
But you got to know what you're reading. And so, betrayal is in there. Lust is in there. Your best friends selling you out.
Stabbing you in the back.
Yeah. The government, how corrupt they are. It's all there.
All the judges, how corrupt the judges
yes,
are.
it's all there.
The whole book named Judges just because of that.
And it's all a story to say, hey, here's the wisdom. Let's start applying it to your life here. But people get caught in the dogmatic church. So they go to church, and you always got that weird guy that's greeting you at the door. And he hey, glad you're here today. Glad you're here to worship. And he's only that guy on Sundays.
I get it.
And so it's a fake environment. I call it churchianity. And so back to the point, I practice ministry through business, and I call it business ministry.
I love that.
And so I have misfit ministry, and that's where I take people that were a misfit in society. They were a misfit for their job. They were a misfit in church. They just never fit.
I love it.
And I say, okay, come in here and let me teach you a couple things about Jesus. Let me tell you about you too, because it's not all about Jesus. Let me talk about you. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's talk about the afterlife. Let's talk about what it really is. And so I teach people here that you can have wealth, time, and freedom with the business that you already have. And then you can find really what you want to do in life, right in here, right in your soul. You can find what you really want to do. And if you get somebody aligned with what they want to do, you get them enough money in their pocket to where they're not, stressed out all the time. They can focus on their wife. They can focus on their children. They can love what they do. And then if they so choose to, they can give back. And they can go out there and they can be conscious love for other people. But if you haven't figured out your own life, you can't help other people with it. And so that's why
I love that.
That's why I do business ministry.
I love that because it all relates. So my mastermind is about human performance. And spirituality to me is half the battle. It's half the battle.
It is.
Otherwise,
it's an inside job.
Everything, and it all starts on the inside.
It's an inside job.
And sooner or later, if you fix the inside, you cure the insides, you heal the insides, the outsides will matter. It will change. It's a reflection.
Yes.
Both ways.
Yeah, you cannot try to affect change outside of yourself. You have to do it in here first.
Correct.
And people say, well, how do I do that? Well, it's real simple. You just change your thoughts.
Well, that's not simple, but it's simple to teach that and suggest that. To actually undergo those changes take time.
It does, but it's
not easy.
What to do is simple. Whether you can do it or not, correct.
Right.
Not that simple.
I know men that on the outsides they look beautiful. Mm-hmm. They wear the right clothes. They have the right proportions. They're manicured and tailored, all those good things. But in the insides, they're lost. They're whirling dervishes. They're almost empty.
Approval is a drug, and I'm sober. Okay? I've been sober for 46 years.
I love that.
To approval. So when somebody looks polished on the outside and they look like they got it all going on, and on the inside they're crumbling, that's because they're doing all this exterior for approval.
Correct.
And if you're drunk on approval because you can't sober up, it'll never get fixed.
I agree. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I never cared, really, my whole life. Mm-hmm. I never cared.
Right.
But I have friends that just now in their 60s.
Waking up. Just now
just
waking
now,
up.
Reaching out and trying to start working on the insides. Because sooner or later, this fake outside appearance, it starts to crumble.
It does. It does, and it's disgusting. It's hard. I'll tell you this.
You've worked on your insides.
For
your whole life, really.
Deliberately my whole life. But for 23 years, every week, I don't miss it. I go sit down for 2.5 hours, and every week, I look at my life. Every single corner, every dusty corner in my life, I look at it and I pay attention to it. And my coach, my therapist, has been with me for that long.
That's amazing.
And we're friends. I was in his wedding.
I get it. You conducted a legitimate inventory of your life.
Every week.
Yes.
And so I have a tattoo on me. It's called Live Deliberately. And that's my creed. Live deliberately.
Where is that tattoo?
It's around my thigh.
Really?
And it doesn't look like wording. It looks like art. But it says live deliberately. And that just means that every day you wake up, you have a chance to deliberately make your day how you see
100%.
it. You have a choice.
That's my mantra, correct.
And so many people believe that they're reacting and responding to what's happening outside of them.
If you live that way, you really are.
But they believe that that's the only way. And
it's happening to you, you're not making it happen.
Right. So I live deliberately is my creed, and that's part of what I teach in my ministry.
How old were you when you had that tattoo?
22.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You were 22 years old.
22 years old.
And that's the age of your son right now.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's really wild. Yeah. I think that's great. I wish you were wearing shorts right now. I'm not going to make you drop your pants.
Well, you'll see it one day. I think you and I got more to do together.
I think so. I really do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your philosophy. It's not even really. It's more like a code with you. It's something that's so serious and it's grounded in it's because I understand the world from a business perspective. I know how tough the world can be and what it takes.
Oh yeah.
So your lessons were forged, weren't they?
Yes, they are forged. I am forged. I was forced to be forged. And like I said, with my mom, it can sound pretty rough whenever I talk about my mom, but on the other side of that, man, it forged me into who I am. And life can be tough. And she built a soldier out of me on accident. And I'm very deliberate about how I live. I only care about the truth. I only care about the truth. That's it.
I love this. It's fantastic.
I
believe that so we don't want to. I'm not going to refer to God as a he or a she. I get that. In conversation like this, I often just say I believe in a creator, And because I don't think any of us can really understand truly what that means.
I do.
That this was created.
Do you want to know?
I want to hear what you have to say, yes.
Okay, I know what it is. God is the other side of where we're at right now on a different plane. Okay, God is not one being. God is infinite intelligence. It is a network as hot as the sun, as much energy and power as the sun, and we are but a little bitty spark of it. When Jesus came down here and he said, "I am," and people think that he's the Son of God. Okay, we all are. I am the Son of God. You're the Son of God.
I agree with
okay?
that. I agree
So
with
when
that.
he said, "I am," that wasn't "I'm the only."
Correct.
Okay, he said, "I am." Okay, I am too. Now, when you understand that you are of this of God.
Yep.
Okay, after we die, we don't either go to heaven or hell. We go to a place that is infinite love. And by the way, what's his name? The actor who just about died with the snowcat about Jeremy
Renner. Big fan of his.
Yeah, he's talking about what happened whenever he died.
Yeah.
He's describing it exactly
Yes.
how I describe. And so God is not a man. God is billions of souls not in the physical form. And we do have guides. We have people looking out for us. Usually they're from our ancestors that have already passed. Yes,
I believe in angels.
They are angels, but they're usually
It's
from
different. It's a
ancestors
different way to understand.
from our
correct.
yes. And so it's not a man. It's not a woman. It is call it a network. It's billions of spirits that are overlooking the physical plane that we're in right now. It is not a man. It's not a woman.
I concur with many of the things you say. I'm a Jew, and I studied the Old Testament as much as the New Testament, and I've also read the Quran cover to cover.
Me too.
I studied Hindi and
Me too.
Buddha, all the different
Me
things.
too. You had time to do it.
I had a lot of time to do it. I had done it prior. When I was
did you?
33,
Okay.
I got sober, and I would go to AA meetings. And
What was your drink of choice?
I was what you call really cocaine brought me to my knees.
Your favorite drink was cocaine?
Oh no! But that was a drug that, if not for cocaine, I would probably still be. I never would have had the life I had. But that's the drug that just brought me to my knees, forced me to hit a bottom.
You got addicted.
It hit me. It brought me to a bottom. But I was what you call a garbage head, essentially. I was when I went to rehab. 11 different substances were found in my blood. My blood was toxic. I should have been dead.
You were in pain.
Right, yes, and I was addicted to anything that helped me not feel. So I rode cars, I crashed cars, I used women, I used money, I used people and companies, and I just was a whirling dervish of pain.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it was because I was always a great earner, so it was very glamorous.
You could get away with it. You could get away. You could afford it. You could get away with it.
And I got away with it.
Yeah,
and then when I didn't get away with it, the big banks would. I was like an athlete that kept getting in trouble, but I could on Sunday I win Super Bowl, so I was protected because I was a big ticket for firms, on Wall Street. They wanted to protect me because I was a profit center. It was very valuable, and the big banks really control everything. I understand that more so now than I did even then. I knew they were powerful, but I had no clue that they were really run everything because it's where all the money is. Just it's where all the money is.
Yeah, well, if you want to follow the corruption, just find the money.
Yeah, well,
That's
like they
all
say,
it is.
it's interesting. They talk about NVIDIA is a $4 trillion company, over $4 trillion, and they talk about that. But what they don't say is it's $4 trillion. That's what their market cap is. The only way you can convert that into money, currency, anything usable, is for the banks, the Wall Street banks. I'm not talking about the commercial banks, but Wall Street banks, J.P. Morgan.
Let's go back to you being in that much pain.
So my father passed away suddenly when I was 16. I was a great kid, smart, hard worker, not the smartest, but the hardest worker. I was ranked number 6.
Was he your keel?
He was my North Star.
Okay,
he was my everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything was for my father, to please my father, because I idolized my father. Wrestling team, football team, honor roll. Number 6 out of 630 kids.
And how did he die?
Scholarships.
How did he die?
Heart attack, very sudden, dead,
Okay,
boom.
okay, all right.
September 27, 1973.
Wow.
And I just went crazy.
Yeah.
The day of his funeral, my cousin, what was it? My first cousin was at the cemetery with me. We get back to the house and he's like, "Bro, you really fucked up. Just buried my father." And I found out everything in our lives was mortgaged, borrowed, or leased. We were living the American dream.
It's a nightmare, by the way.
We spent every dime of his last paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And it was just he was just on the press, was just on the verge of making it big. The most he ever made was $48,000 in 1 year. That was 1973. I was middle class at the time. Our house was like $30,000. That house today is almost $2 million, and it's a nothing house. But the year that after he passed away, his partner took home over $1 million. So the business just blew up. It really, and it was my father's.
Yeah, so he was
the guy, but he dropped dead suddenly. So my cousin and I took a walk around the neighborhood. I lived in a nice little Long Island neighborhood, and he took out a joint out of a Marlboro Red box, and he says, "Come on, let's smoke it." And I took a hit, and I had smoked weed before, and it was all right. You know, it was nothing from nothing. I drank alcohol, like Southern Comfort, tequila. We got drunk. The kids in the neighborhood, 16, 15, the football team.
Sure.
Take it or leave it. It was just, I was trying life, experimenting with everything. But I didn't really care for anything. I took one hit of this joint, and I exhaled. And all of a sudden, I felt better. Indescribable the amount of pain I was in. I was angry, and then I took a hit of that joint, and the world got nice.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Be very specific for me, if you would. When you took the hit of the joint, did you feel empathy? No. Is that what it was?
Nope. I didn't feel any empathy.
Empathy?
No.
Okay.
I just felt relief. It was like boiling pot of water. You took the friggin' top off, and the steam went up. I was angry. Red hot, white hot.
Did you feel gratitude?
No.
It just released the anger.
I just felt better. I felt better.
Yeah, because sometimes when people are in that much pain and they're angry, sometimes marijuana can give them either empathy or gratitude whenever they get high, and that subsides that other emotion because they're opposite emotions.
I got stoned. I stayed stoned for 17 straight years.
Oh, wow.
Not a day went by.
And you still got that much stuff done?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the kind of guy I am.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was famous for it.
You could focus on it.
I was famous for it. Well, you see, anything that involves repetition, an addict is gifted.
Yeah, OCD.
They told me 200 calls a day. If you make $300 a day, you're going to be a millionaire. I made 400.
Yeah.
I could just sit there and dial. Rejection. Gives a shit.
Who gives a,
Go fuck yourself. No, thank you. No, I want to get no quick.
Get to no quick.
Next.
I teach people that. I'm not looking for a yes. I'm looking for a no.
Correct.
Next. I'm not going to spend my life trying to get a yes out of you that's not a real yes.
The yes is coming.
Yeah, the yes is coming.
You got to go through a bunch of no's to get
But
yes.
just get through no, man. Like I do it in business. Whenever somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I want to do business with you, I'm looking for a way not to.
I understand.
Because I want the yes. I want the real yes.
So I was, according to the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Fortune, CNBC, Fox Business, one of the greatest cold calling stockbrokers in history. Far superior to Jordy Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. I made much more money than him.
You and I share that. In Kansas City, when I was young, and I was a young broker doing what I do, there's 11,000 business owners in Kansas City. I called them all 3 times. I called 33,000 phone calls.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
That people don't understand.
Relentless.
That's it. It's not even work.
Yep.
It's just how I get rich.
Yep.
I just don't stop. I don't leave.
And
I wouldn't go home.
That made you a good wrestler too.
Correct.
Because if you're relentless, man, somebody's got their work cut out for them out there.
Exactly right. There's no quit. You got to kill me. It's just the way it is. Even the United States government's going to be very disappointed very shortly because I can't be broken. Mm-hmm. That's something that the Creator put in me. I have that spark.
Yeah.
More is better. That's been my problem because somewhere in my brain, if one is good, 2 must be better. And at some point, you don't need more capital at some point.
Well, so earlier, about 45 minutes ago, let's go back a little bit because you said The government was going to buy you out for $300 million.
Not the government, Barclays Bank.
Okay,
but
cool.
they sent. I didn't realize at the time. I've all learned a lot of this since.
It might as well be the same, is what you're saying.
They wanted me. I would have been running Barclays Bank.
Yeah.
I should have taken the deal.
Yeah, so $300 million. So when I hear $300 million, because I've been a businessman, for 26 years.
Get liquid.
Get that liquidity, man.
I know, but I already had it.
I know, but so I
was a liquidity machine. You got to realize when I controlled over 4,000 people on my payroll. I owned a broker deal, a hedge fund. So I was the guy that got you liquid.
Yeah.
I was the guy you came to. You had 2 million shares of stock in some bullshit company. Ross, what do I got to do? Because I just say, let's do this, let's do that, done. I was the guy on Wall Street. Company wanted to go public. The numbers went bad on Thursday. That means the deal had to be printed before the close on Thursday. Otherwise, I got to go through a whole new audit, a whole new nonsense. Big deal, big job, delayed months, cost millions of dollars. Ross Mandell that would come to with 2 days left and say, "Listen, we need 600,000 shares. Someone's got to. Can you find a home?" That's how they put it in that world. Can you find a home for 600,000 shares and another 200,000 in the aftermarket?
Get on the phones.
I said, I got it. Yeah. I was that guy, big balls Ross Mandell. Another thing was...
Did you know Bernie Madoff by chance?
Bernie tried to hire me. I met Bernie twice, and I did time with Peter Madoff, just so you know. Now, the guys that prosecuted Bernie Madoff, specifically the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, he claims on his bio, to this day, in his bio, because he's a big lawyer at a big firm right now. And... He claims the biggest thing he's done is in his bio is he prosecuted Bernie Madoff, and right after that it says prosecuted Ross Mandell, the bad boy of Wall Street. So this is the credit he still takes today on his bio, which is comic. It's comedy to me because Bernie Madoff was a massive criminal. I mean, this guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, how hard would it be to prosecute somebody that's that?
Well, you don't understand that no one caught Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff discovered he was dying of cancer. And he realized that he was a fucking Jewish guy from Queens. He really loved his family. I knew one of his sons. I worked with him at the beach many years ago with kids, with Cabana boys on Long Island. And Bernie Madoff realized if he dies, his wife and kids are going to jail forever. Because it was a huge scam. People didn't realize he engineered it. Him and one other guy really engineered the whole thing.
Yeah, the guy upstairs.
It was a brilliant scam.
Yeah.
And to steal $50 billion, biggest heist in the history of planet Earth, you got to be pretty brilliant. But to make a long story short, so he called Ike. Ike was a famous defense attorney. He was the head of the SEC enforcement in the 80s. He actually represented me in 1986 when 1987, before the crash, when the firm I was working at was being investigated by the stock exchange. And I was the second biggest producer, so I had to they lawyered me up, and I went in. It was nothing happened because Ike pulled strings. So Bernie called Ike on a Sunday and said, "You got to come here." He told Ike that he's got cancer. He revealed to Ike the scam and said, "What the fuck should I do? I don't want my wife and kids to go to fucking prison." So they called the sons over. They called a family meeting on a Sunday. They all came over. Bernie confessed to his family.
Yep.
And then under advice of counsel, the son called the fucking FBI and said, "I got to report a crime. My dad robbed $50 billion." And the FBI agent was like, "What kind of bullshit? What kind of scam?" They thought they were being scammed. Because now that's how you create mistrials and all kinds of issues in law. They thought they were being hoodwinked. Yeah. So they didn't want to even respond.
Yeah.
So they never caught Bernie Madoff. And me, I didn't do anything wrong. But they came at me because I didn't want to play ball with the boys. I didn't kiss enough rings and bend over. I was an independent. I was the first American to take a regulated American company public on the London Stock Exchange. They said it was impossible. When I was growing up, they said the 4-minute mile was impossible.
No, and then everybody else did it after the...
I said, is it impossible? I was in a meeting in London. I said, is it impossible or nobody's ever done it? They said it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
These are three smart lawyers, right?
Yeah.
Top lawyers, Tower 42. I'm not going to mention your name, but you guys suck. I spent $23 million on legal fees, and you got nothing. And I was in this meeting, and they told me to go home. Go fly home. It's ridiculous. You can't do this. I said, it's never been done or it can't be done. They said, can't both. I said, tell me why. What would I need to do to go public? They said, well, you would need a member of parliament to...
And you're taking notes. You're taking notes.
I'm making all notes.
Okay, yeah.
They didn't know who I was at the time. I had 10,000 millionaires as clients. I was the biggest there was in the entire world, exporting American opportunities to foreigners, as recognized by the Wall Street Journal, all that kind of stuff. So by the time I took a cab, I actually had a driver in a car. I went back from Tower 42 in what they call the city. Mm-hmm. We call it Wall Street. They call it the city. By the time I got back to the Dorchester Hotel, I got on the phone. I said, Alexander. Yes, Ross. I said, I need you to meet me at the Dorchester Hotel in like a half an hour. He goes, is 45 minutes okay? I said, yes. He says, what's going on? I said, I got a great business opportunity for us. He says, really? I'll be right there. He was the Queen Mother's date for 25 years. He was a lawyer, what they call a barrister over there.
So this is the parliament.
He was a chartered... No, that was a separate guy. He got me the guy from parliament.
Okay.
This guy was a parliamentary appointee to the country of Albania. Alexander, do my little shout out, bro. But this is about you today, Chad. What did we not cover? What do you want the audience to know about you
we
today?
didn't cover a lot, but that's because you can't cover life in an hour, right?
Well, we're going to do part two. And I want to come on to you. Yeah. Tell us what you're doing now. You said that your podcast has been on hold. You're building a studio. Talk about it.
Well, what I do really is I teach people how to become wealthy, how to have time, and how to have freedom. That's what I do.
I love it.
Now, I didn't say money, did I?
Nope.
Okay, because money is not what you should be after.
Never.
You want to go after wealth.
Correct.
And what the hell is money and wealth worth if you don't have time? And
Correct.
If you don't have freedom, then it doesn't matter if you have wealth or time. You want wealth, time, and freedom. And I teach how to do it. Now, I want to share why I do it. Because earlier we were talking about how people are presenting themselves as one way, but on the inside they're broken to pieces, and they're full of shit. Okay.
Yeah. Most people.
Well, the reason I'm in the space that I'm in is because I see the people that are online, and I see the con artists, and I know who they are.
Yep.
I know who they are.
Crazy, right?
It drives me nuts.
It's really. I'm just new to this. Right?
Yeah.
I'm only doing this for the last year, and I'm shocked at how full of shit everybody is.
Completely full of shit. And you've got people. Here's what's happening. You got the church that's failing, and why is it failing? The Christian church is failing. There's a church on every corner, and our society has never been more fucked up.
It's just a money grab.
Exactly. And so what's happening is that those who are good at orating and good at convincing people online, that's the new offering plate. Okay, so you go to church and you would think you'd get answers there, right? You'll get answers. Maybe I'll meet a Ross there that might know about investments, who might know about business. Maybe I'll get resources there. You don't anymore. You go to church to listen to the same old bullshit that's been said for 2,000 years about what some guy said 2,000 years ago. So the new offering plate is online, and all the online con artists and hucksters are on there. And so I'm the real deal, okay? I teach you how to have wealth, time, and freedom. I teach you how to buy a business. And people think that, there's people out there that say, oh, you can buy a business for no money down, and oh, you can buy a business for where the seller says thank you, no money, no banks.
In 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you how to make $1 million.
And all their bywords are, oh, it's free, it's no money down, it's easy,
clickbait,
and it's no banks. It's all a
scam.
With what you did, with what you went to jail for, is far, far less than what these people are doing.
And what they're doing
online.
Right now.
It's unreal.
It's unreal.
So I'm teaching people really how to do it, okay? And I teach people how to get through the SBA process. The Small Business Administration 7A program has been around for 80 years, man, since Dwight Eisenhower's been in office. Now, every American qualifies for $5 million. Every single American qualifies for $5 million.
Correct.
The con artists, the hucksters, the guru garble bullshit that they spout is all because they don't know what I know. Okay? They don't know how to get through. They don't know the banks that are lending, how to get through the process, how to underwrite a deal, how to get the right buyer, the right seller together. I teach people how to buy a business. I teach people how to sell their business, and I teach them how to run their business to a point where they can have a liquidity event, and then I show them what to do with that liquidity event so they can keep moving up. And so what I do is I travel the country. I put on live events. I speak live. My audiences are small. I talk to about 100 people at a time. But I can honestly say that I turn people into millionaires every year. Okay, right now I'm working on turning 10 people into millionaires, and I'll be done with them over the next 6 months.
I love it.
And then I'll bring on another 10. So I'll go speak to 100 people, and about 10 or 12 of them will want me to help them. And I show them exactly how to do it.
I get it.
And my books, my courses, my online courses that I have, I personally help them. My team helps them. That's what I do. I take an ordinary person and I turn them into an extraordinary millionaire. That's what I do.
I love that. And I just want to say that, I am the real deal. I was, long before social media, on the front page of every newspaper. Not the second page. They actually put me on the front page.
Mm-hmm.
I was 1996, the Wall Street Journal wrote my life story, 5,250 words. Biggest story in the history of the Dow Jones Corporation, history of the Wall Street Journal.
5,250. That's the same feet as a mile. You said 5,250.
Yeah. And it was the biggest story in the history of the number one selling newspaper in the world. I instantly became rock star famous, but notorious. They painted me in a bad light because what they wanted to do, it was a hit piece on the regulatory system. I was a drug addict at the time. I was wild. I'm making money. I'm getting into car accidents.
Are you friends with Jordan Belfort by chance?
Jordan Belfort came to work for the firm I was at in 1987. It's a part of the movie they left out. My best friend, Stevie, he worked for my best friend, Stevie, who lives across the street from me in Boca right now. And we paid him $1,000 a month. He was a cold caller trying to get his license. This was in 1987, right before the crash. He literally got licensed the week before the crash. That's true in the movie. And his first day in the business was the biggest crash in history, next to 1929. But when Jordy started in early 87, I was the number 2 broker at the firm. I was averaging, I was making $220,000 a month. Mm-hmm. That was my average.
Yeah, good for you, brother.
Well, and I was fucking stoned the whole time, just so you know. But
you have a very similar story to Jordan Belfort. I mean, you just do.
Well, they knocked off part of his character. They used he was never written up in the Wall Street Journal. You know that Forbes story? Mm-hmm. That never happened. He made that up.
Okay.
He created the name The Wolf of Wall Street. The story in Forbes was written about me.
Okay.
And
so was that him?
I've been in Forbes 20 times.
Was that him just trying to get some cheap publicity? Was that what it is?
He's smart at marketing.
Yeah.
As you see, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He's not a great guy, Jordy. I'm sorry about that, bro. Nadine, the Duchess of Bay Ridge, in the movie?
No.
You know the movie?
I watched it, but it's been so long since
Margot Robbie played her in the movie.
Yeah, beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Beautiful woman.
So Nadine, I introduced Jordy to his wife.
Oh, wow.
Well, not his first wife. He was married to some Italian chick on Long Island. But Nadine I had a girlfriend named Ginger. Ginger was the wife of a big famous jeans company, driving around Manhattan in a red Ferrari. Nadine was a friend of hers. She was a lingerie model. She lived in Brooklyn, just like the movie. And I had a limousine in those days, so I had a couple 12 years. I'm the real deal. Mm-hmm. And she calls me up one day and says, "Listen, I'm in your car. I hope you don't mind." I said, "It's cool." She goes, "I'm in Brooklyn." So what are you doing in Brooklyn? She goes, "Picking up my friend Nadine." I had heard about her. She's a famous lingerie model. She had just done a light beer commercial, national commercial. Mm-hmm. Every man in America was falling in love with her, like a Margot Robbie. Mm-hmm. She was as good looking. Just so you know, Nadine told the story right where you're sitting. She's been on my podcast. And we're good friends now. She's a doctor now, a psychologist, and all these good things. She was right here in Boca.
I want to honor you for something real quick, okay?
Thank you.
Because you, a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, you said, Jordy, sorry about that, man. You're not a good guy. Listen, earlier I told you I'm only interested in the truth.
That's
okay.
You're telling me. You're talking about my story. I'm an honest guy.
So when people, because I take a beating on social media. I mean, I take a beating.
We're gonna get beat up today.
Yeah, and so, but here's the thing. People don't like the truth, okay?
Some people.
99% of people don't like the truth.
Truth can be hard.
And if you say the truth, you'll get attacked. But what I want to honor you for is you've known Jordan Belfort for that long, and you didn't beat him up. You just said, "Hey, he's not a very good guy. Sorry, Jordy, but you're not." That is not that is not distasteful. That is not rough. That is not, you're not talking shit. You're just, the sun is hot, water's wet, concrete's hard, and you're saying, Jordan Belfort, not that good of a guy. Like, that's the kind of shit that I like in people, that what you just did there.
Thank you.
I love people who can accurately say the truth without it being emotionally charged, just calling it what it is, and you'd be surprised that just speaking authentically, speaking with integrity, calling things as they are, not in a mean way, will get you so much backlash. And I don't care what they do to me. I don't care how much I get beat up online. It ain't changing. I'm going to keep saying things as they are. And I won't do it out of haste. I'll do it out of truth. And I just want to honor you.
Thank you very much.
That you did that.
I've always been me, and if I wasn't, I never would have had. I'd be worth 30 to 50 billion right now. I'd own an island. I never would have went to prison. I would have ratted people out because I know what everybody's dirty laundry. Half the rules in the game were created because of me. But they say, because we've evolved so much, because of science, technology, and social media in an odd way. They talk about frequency and vibrating and authenticity.
Sure.
And
I teach it.
People are saying, how do I have like 100,000 followers in like 9 months? I don't pay, I don't buy. It's all organic, 100%. And so other people that know me said, because you're authentic as fuck. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks, they listen to you, they see who you are. Then they do some research and say, this fucking guy's real.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is what it is. But I want to say that, and this is me honoring you, because this is my podcast, and this is my studio, and I don't bring people in here unless we've vetted them, and it goes through a little bit of a committee of serious-minded people, and you are the real deal, Chad, and you are the real deal, and I didn't know how much my friend Melissa's in the house. Saying, well, hey, Melissa, what's shaking, baby?
Hi, Melissa.
I said to her last night, I got a famous guy coming in. And he drove hours just to be in here. And I didn't even know it was from Jacksonville. I didn't know you flew around and all that stuff. So I'm more, I thought you were coming from Fort Myers. Apologize. But I thought a lot of you, just looking at your social media, watching your Shawn Michael Kelly and your Bradley stuff, but meeting you in when you walked in the room, you saw my reaction.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, bro. This is the real thing. And now, having spent an hour and 51 minutes with you on camera, I got to say, this has been a privilege, bro.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I think there's some great things for both of us, and hopefully together.
Yeah, thank you.
Because Raw Media,
thank you.
Raw Media is going to be a very serious media company. Just imagine what you've done online. Just imagine what you've seen online from so many people. Imagine them coming together and creating their own network. Mm-hmm. The power of eyeballs, we all know what that is. You've got guys, people I have good friends with, they get more eyeballs than anything on television right this hour. Mm-hmm. Imagine what it's like when you put 20 or 30 of us together.
Yeah, no, I like that vision. I really do.
It's wild.
And one thing that I've noticed with what you're doing, I think this might be valuable for me to say, that I've noticed that as I've gotten to where I'm at, and I'm shaking hands with some pretty powerful people, some pretty famous people.
You're the real deal, bro.
I appreciate that, and one thing I'm noticing is that they're not very good at playing with one another. In other words, you would think that if you're a 1%er and you get there and you're shaking hands with another 1%er, you'd think that people would play better together.
Play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, and want to help those people out. I find quite the opposite. I've got, I won't mention his name, but I've got a guy who, I do business with him, and I've done some things with him. And he pirates half of what I say. He'll listen to what I say. He'll go on a podcast. He's a very famous person.
Yep.
He'll go online and say the same shit that I say. And by the way, and I tell him, hey, I don't know why you're doing that. And he'll tell me, well, flattery is one of the best.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Shakespeare.
And I'm like, yeah, man, I get it, but it's also kind of a dirtbag thing to do.
I don't know about that.
Well, because not only that, but all
the
my
word
stuff.
pirating is a bad thing.
All my stuff's trademarked.
But I'm just saying, some of the things you said today, I don't want to say steal because it's an ugly word, but I'm going to borrow some of those things because you managed to put into words some of the things today that I feel that I don't necessarily ever really say because I can't really find the right way to say them. And I realized listening to you today, it doesn't have to be the right way. It has
Thank
to
you.
It has to be in a right context. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to wrap this up now, but I just want to ask you, is there anything that you want the audience to know? Anything that we missed in our initial get? And when you have your podcast, I want to be on your podcast.
You'll be on my podcast, and we're going to be doing more than that. Yes, I do want your audience to know something from the bottom of my heart. You guys are choosing to be enslaved. You can choose to have wealth, time, and freedom in your life. You do not have to do something you don't want to do. There's options.
Amen.
You have to know the right answers. I want your audience to understand that in one day they read more information than what their ancestors did in a full year just 100 years ago. You're inundated with information. You're inundated by con artists, takers, and fake gurus. Quit giving your money to them. Find somebody that you can learn from. Invest in yourself. Invest in becoming the best version of yourself. Find somebody that you align with. Work closely with them to get your dreams achieved. Quit wasting time because you don't have time to waste because life is short. It's almost over. And so quit doing the things you don't want to do. Make a change today. And if you want my help, because I resonate with you, go to chadpeterson.com. Me and my team, we want to help you.
I love it. Amen. Chad Peterson, it has been a privilege today.
Absolutely, brother.